Hello! In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to define your own functions. In Python, there are many built-in functions that become very useful when you are programming. But some functions that you might find useful don't exist. You will have to define them yourself. Over here, I defined two simple functions. One of them is named add, and the other is named greet. Let me demonstrate how they work. If I print add, here I decide what numbers. I'd say 4, 8. And I run this. We get 12, so we are adding 4 and 8. Now, if I use the greet function, and then I pass in a string, which is my name, or it can be anyone's name, and I run it, we get, "Hello, Tina." Now, let's jump into how to define your own functions. Before we define a function, we have to pass in def. This stands for define. Next, we choose the name of our function. You can choose any name. Then, we put two brackets that can take in arguments. Over here, I have 2 arguments. We can have 3 arguments. And then we can... When we return something, it means that we are storing it here, but we are not printing it out. So if we want to get what's in it, we'll have to print it. So if I print add 1, 2, 3, and I run the module, we get 6. We can also put a print here. If that's the case, we shouldn't put a print here. All we have to do is add these, and our function already printed it for us. So let's run this. Oops, we need brackets here. That's what they want. Now let me run this. We get 6. Now, in my greet function, I have this variable called name. I return hello plus name plus this exclamation mark. I can print this. And we get hello, Bob. We can replace this return with a print. So next time, if we want to get hello, Bob, all we have to do is greet Bob without the print. Oh, I forgot the brackets again. In some versions of Python, we don't need brackets, but over here we do. Now, over here, I have another function I defined. Instead of G, let me name it multi. Now, if I run this function, if I call this function, first I pass in a word which goes inside a string, like help. then this count will be an integer, 7. And since I'm returning it, I'll have to print it here. I'll have to save this file. Here we get help 7 times. Now how does this work? I define this multi function. Over here, we can put in 2 arguments. If word.ends with this space, this ends with is a built-in function, and it means that if something ends with a string, so if the word we passed in ends with a space, we return word times count. When we times a string with an integer, that means we're printing that string the amount of times the integer specified. So we return that word times the integer. But if the word does not end with this space, we return that word plus a space times that integer. Because if we don't have a space, we will get help in one long word. Oops. But if we pass a space here, we will not get double spaces. We will get the standard single space on each iteration. Now, what will happen if I print this? And then I also print the function here. I'll run it. We get help. Wait a minute, that's because we are returning it here. Since we return here, there's nothing wrong with printing it. But if we don't have this, it will go through this and jump to here, which will return none. This none means that when we print a function, the function is doing something. It's not returning anything. So we cannot print that function, but it will still return this. If you have any questions, please contact me. This is the end of this tutorial, and I hope you have a nice day.